Welcome to Rosary and Scapular. Today let's talk a little about the Rosary. The Rosary is a meditative prayer that draws the praying person into various scenes from the life of Jesus for us to encounter him in a more personal way. The point of the Rosary is never to mindlessly recite memorized prayers while our minds just wander. In the same way, we don't have conversations with the significant people in our lives, parents, siblings, spouses, therapists, and doctors, while our minds wander. There's no virtue to filling silence with words simply for the sake of filling silence with words. And if you'll allow me to address this objection from the start, because it's essential. Memorized prayers are not the problem. We memorize words and phrases in our native language, and no one objects to that. In fact, it's a necessary function of language to use the same words and syntax and inflection so that communication is possible. So if I call this a hand and you call it a zebra, and we multiply that disconnect by 1,000, our conversation and understanding immediately breaks down. So what I'm saying is this: the prayers of the Rosary are the language and the syntax. The Apostles' Creed, the Hail Mary, the Our Father, those are the prayer language of the Rosary, just as the Introit and the Gloria and the Responsorial Psalm are the prayer language of the Mass. And likewise, we memorize and quote Scripture for our religious conversations and even our prayers. And no one objects to the vain repetition of Scripture in those senses. So what I'm saying, the prayer language of the Rosary is Scripture. So thank you for being patient with that digression. Getting back to what I was saying, each of the aforementioned scenes from the life of Christ is called, in the language of the Rosary, mysteries. But these mysteries are not to be equated with Sherlock Holmes and the Hardy Boys and your favorite police drama. These mysteries are revelations from God's grace about his nature, about his work of salvation. And each mystery, again, that's the scene from the life of Jesus, is an invitation by God to open ourselves to him so that he can reveal more of himself and his transformational love to us, to bring us closer to him. And in so doing, he removes from our lives those obstacles between us, habitual sin, bad attitudes, among other things. The Rosary is aimed at our souls and our intellect in order to make us saints. And that's nothing to be scared of. Saints are not cardboard, two-dimensional people. The saints were much like us. They were passionate and they were funny and they struggled with the same internal and external temptations that we do. And many of them endured the same agonizing spiritual dryness that we endure. So if becoming a saint concerns you because you're afraid of, for example, losing certain relationships, that's understandable. I've struggled with that. I don't want to alienate people I care about. But by improving your faith life, you become a better friend, a better spouse, a better employee and sibling and parent, because you are becoming more virtuous, more patient, more joyful, and so forth. And that change is hard for me and for you and for all those around us. Improvement is always going to be hard. Just ask any academic or athlete or people in the military. Spiritual improvement will take a while. But if you allow God to improve you, you will feel so much better. Letting go of vice and sin feels really good. The Rosary is spiritual medicine, or spiritual nourishment if you prefer, to keep us in good spiritual health. So to finish for today, the Rosary is a prayer for everyone without regard to education, employment, social status, or anything else. Throughout church history, we find devotees to the Rosary spanning from paupers to princes, from illiterates to academics, and so many more. So let's continue the path to sainthood with the Rosary. And lastly, it would be appreciated if you would like this video and subscribe and share and comment. The Rosary is our weapon, and the scapular is our garment of grace.